please talk a little bit because I
Yeah.
need you to talk. That's why we are here.
Yeah, okay. Are we going now, are we?
Yeah, we are
Oh, right.
on air.
Right. Just rolling my organic tobacco. Organic pesticide-free tobacco. Shouldn't really advertise, but they're not a big company. Yuma. And some raw tobacco. No poison in the gum bit. It's from trees. So I'm just going to have a rollie if you don't mind. I'm a bit nervous. True. Right.
Why are you nervous?
Why am I? I'm not really. I just lied then. Normally I would be nervous, but for some reason I'm not nervous now. It's probably because I know him.
So what are we doing here today, Patrick?
Trying to sell my wonderful book called Thinking Back: Memories of Damon Albarn and Other Friends. I don't think there's that many other friends in the book, but it mainly focuses on my life, and it's got quite a bit about Damon Albarn in it because he was my friend. Yeah, so there you go. That's why the book's called Damon Albarn. It's got in the title. That's why Damon Albarn is in the title.
So where are we today, Patrick?
Well,
Can you tell a little about where you're living?
Well, I'm living in Denmark in Viborg, and I've lived here for about I don't know, more than 8 years, and I live in what they call a Gammel Kubberman's boutique, which is an old shopkeeper's house, which we bought. My wife and I bought in a very terrible condition, and it needed work on, and we're still working on it now. So that's where we're at now. I'm trying to build a cultural place where musicians can come and things like that, you know, musicians, artists, and things. But we ran out of money. The banks took it all. No, they didn't, but we ran out of money anyway.
But Patrick, just one thing. I need you to look at me.
Yeah.
When we are talking.
Okay.
Because if you're talking to the camera and you're fronting the camera,
Right.
I will just use that to make some kind of effect in the start. But
Okay.
else you just have to talk to me because
Okay.
yeah, you know.
That's it. We're not talking to each other anymore. Me and you are finished, mate. Okay.
But Patrick, if you could just mention some of the important things about you writing this book. Why did you write this book?
It's a good question because I don't normally write anything. You know, I'm not known for my writing. Even in school, I never wrote anything. So I wrote it because basically, first of all, it was out of anger in a way, because I've known Damon for many years, and I obviously overestimated our friendship in modern day. But I didn't know him for many years, and I heard he was coming to Denmark, and so I thought, oh, that's good, because I live there, you know, so maybe we can meet up, and it'd be nice to see him after all these years and have a chat, and see how he is within himself, you know, so it was all arranged to go ahead, and we were gonna meet up, and his PA assistant, can't remember her name, it's not really important at the moment. So we'd organised to meet up, you know. I mean, it was arranged months and months in advance. So I thought, oh, that's good. And I was going to meet up with him at Roskilde. He played in Denmark and Roskilde a few years earlier on, but he was going to go straight to Sweden straight afterwards, so there was not even time for a cup of tea. So we'd arranged this for months, and then, you know, on the night we got the backstage passes and went, and it wasn't even the area where he was, and then I got a phone call after travelling there saying that he was now not going to be able to meet me and stuff. So I was a bit pissed off, because I'd brought my 2-year-old at the time, you know, and I also suffer from hidradenitis suppurativa, which is a very well, it's incurable for one, and it's also very painful, and it's constant pain, and it needs special operation on it, etc. So I was a bit pissed off that, you know, we'd travelled so far with my son and then you know, and then to be told, you know, when he's in, like, you know, a couple of yards away, probably behind backstage, you know, that wasn't going to happen. And I thought, well, what a waste of time. I could have been told that earlier and not made the journey and that. So there's a few things I wanted to speak to him about as well, you know, as well as talking to him just generally and saying hello, which was the most important thing. But many years ago, I'd suffered an injury at a Blair gig in London, and it damaged my back. I mean, it really did damage my back, you know. And it's written about in the book. And so I was a bit angry, as I said, about him not letting me know that he wasn't going to be able to make it, and I had to travel back. And thankfully, there was a friend. Am I allowed to say it was you? And your father gave us a lift back that night. And I really wanted you to meet him because I know you're a big fan of Blair, especially, and Damon's work. So I was a bit annoyed that he couldn't be bothered. I just know that Well, what I thought our relationship was on the level of was that if the places were reversed, then I would come and see you because I haven't seen you for a long time, and you're my friend. So I wasn't able to discuss other things that I wanted to speak to him about. Maybe he would like to donate for me to get an operation privately for hidradenitis suppurativa, and also to discuss the injury that I received at a Blair gig many years ago, dressed as Father Christmas, which still troubles me today, and see if he wanted to donate something, just out of the goodness of his heart. And I wrote saying such a thing, but it was still going via his PA, and so there was nothing. I got one email from his PA with a message in it, which was supposedly from Damon, saying, I can't remember word for word now, but it was something like, sorry mate, nothing personal, I'll buy you a dinner next time I'm in town. So it didn't make me very happy either, I sod it. So I was a bit pissed off, so I thought, oh fuck it, I really do need to raise the money. For the operation that I do need. I know I look like I could run a mile now, but I can't. I'm actually in pain constantly, and the only way I can get this operation is privately, so it costs money. So I thought, how am I going to do this? How am I going to raise the money? And I thought, sod it, write a book,
Okay, that's fine. You've answered it. So, Patrick, why should people read this book? What is the interesting thing about this book?
It's a good question. I wouldn't read it, but I'm not a Damon Albarn fan. But if you're a Damon Albarn fan, it's got things in there which might interest you to a certain degree. People do go to train stations and take train numbers and stuff and write it in a book because they're interested in that particular train. It's not my bag. It's not my interest, but and there's things that there are no kind of biographies with Damon kind of involved in them anyway on the market. Damon hasn't written his own autobiography yet, and it's also, there was only me there in Greenwich, and it covers mainly some period of time when Blair were really trying to get on their feet and about to release their first album, Leisure, and at that time I was there. I got them a place to live, Dave and Damon, a place to live in Greenwich. So I kind of observed to a certain degree their growth and what was happening around them as Blair started developing and hit the major market in Britain. So you won't get that anywhere because there was only me there. But there are no biographies. There's books written about Blair, about their gigs and what it was like and stuff. But there's nothing personal. There's nothing really out there with Damon and his mate. I don't know. That's why should you read the book? Because it's got Damon in it. If you're a Damon fan, you might like it.
So what do the people get from you? Where is your place in this book?
It's my life. It's a biography, actually. It is about me. It's not about Damon. Damon just happened to be in my life. It's a biography about me. But he's an interesting person who people have heard of, which is kind of fortunate if I can sell the book. But it's a kind of a biography, of a certain period in my life, and that's really it. It's not really about Damon. It's like it's just that he's there because he was the person I was with in that period of time, really. But it also covers other aspects of my life, what was going on at the same time, because it's a biography. So. How was your relationship with Damon Albarn? How did you get along together, and how did you meet? When I first met him, I didn't like him. He wasn't my type of dude. I did, you know, the people that I usually hung around with in Liverpool before I went to London were, there was no one like Damon Albarn. There is no one like Damon Albarn. But when I first saw him, like, you know, he looked like, I wrote it in the book, he looks like some out of Bros, you know, we were a band in the 80s at the time, and very clean and sparkly and blonde hair, blue-eyed, and, you know, just totally, I just went, you're weird. But everyone was weird. It was an acting school. But he did kind of stand out at that point for me to even make that observation in my head, or even sort of to be even. But we didn't really make contact until the second term anyway. And I was playing guitar outside on a guitar in the foyer on a day like this, really. And I just heard him say, "I really like that, mate." That's where he spoke. "I really like that, mate. Do you think we could get together and play some music? I'd like you to sing some of my songs for me." And so I did the following night. You know, and from there, we just kind of got on from there, really. I thought, oh God, there's that guy who looks like the guy who's a Bros standing here talking to me, and I just said, yeah, I'll go and sing some of your songs for you. Why not? You know. And then it just developed from there. We became friends and stuff, you know. And just went to his place and rehearsed at the school and played songs, and that's really it, really. Yeah, he was a fine lad. I discovered that, you know, he was a fine lad. He was not like, you know, anything that I was kind of putting in my head at all. He was decent chap. Yeah.
So how there's a thing about how you developed and how you end up being here, and the thing about Damon, there's some kind of you use a bit of time to like put your different endpoints where you are today to describe how your relationship is today, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing I want to know is that where is the main difference between you and Damon, and has this
he's got more money. But that's not important. Well, it is in this case. If I can sell the book, it's important in that sense. But you're asking me what the difference is between Damon and I.
Yeah.
In that sense.
From that, especially on that time and today.
He was a talented young man, you know. He was very talented, and so was I. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been at an acting school in London, you know. But and his music was fine, and I knew he was going to be a superstar. I mean, I just did. He knew he was going to be a superstar. Is he a superstar? He's a star anyway. But so you know, that was always on the cards. He was always going to be, you know, he was always going to make it. And he did ask me to kind of leave school and go and be in a band with him called Two's a Crowd or something else. Three's a Mess. I think it was called Two's a Crowd. And on the day when people were leaving, he decided that he was leaving after the first year. I mean, I think he was on the search for a band. I mean, that's what he was doing. You know, he asked me, and then he went to Goldsmiths, and then he asked Alex or Graham and that. So he was definitely on a hunt. I don't think he was very interested in education in any sense. And I think he was just on a hunt for a band. But he asked me would I leave on the kind of the final day when he was going, you know, and he was kind of disappointed that I said no. I mean, we were good friends, and I thought it was kind of sad that he was going, because I was having like fun. We were having fun. We were playing music together, and so I remember we were sitting outside, and you know, he said, "I'm going, mate. I'm going. You know, I think we should leave. I think you should leave." And I was like, "All right, I'm not going." You know, man, it took me years to get out of Liverpool. You know, to get out of my mum and dad's house. You know, I ain't gonna go into London, man. That's too frightening for me. I can't do it. You know, you know, and it wouldn't have happened anyway. I would never have been in a band with. Something would have happened where he would have gone on to do something else, and he would have still become Damon Albarn in Blair. But I wouldn't have been a part of that at all. You know, and I could kind of see that.
But you are both musicians.
Well, we both enjoyed music.
You both enjoyed music, and he's definitely what you can call a musician, right?
Oh yeah.
And you would also call yourself a musician, right?
I would say I have a talent given to me which allows me to do that if that's what I chose to put my energy into.
What is the difference about the music he does and the music you do?
Do you know what the actual I would actually say there isn't of my poppy stuff and the catchy stuff that I can write. I think we were very similar in what we were doing, and I think that's what he saw as well at that time. That we did have some kind of connection in that sense. I mean, the stuff that I wrote for Macbeth, for instance, and I'm from Liverpool, and we kind of have a talent for catchy hooks.
I don't wanna hear this. 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 Space rocks keep falling on my head. Strange weather up ahead. Ice shells are in decline. Fluoride coming out the taps. Chemtrails filling up the gaps. Anywhere that the sun shines through. Aspartame flowing through our veins. Cell phones frying up our brains. False cornflakes in the bowl. Osama is living in the shed, but he's changed his name to Fred. Well, at least that's what he said.
Why?
I don't know.
Why Liverpool?
Well, you know, why Liverpool was the only place what could have produced the Beatles, you know, because Liverpool at one point was the biggest seaport in the world. Yeah, and so as being this biggest seaport in the world, I mean, the city was built on slavery. You know, we have the largest Chinese community outside of China. It's not in Hong Kong. It's actually in Liverpool. We have a black community, African community, because the slaves were coming into the port of Liverpool. They built Liverpool. But Liverpool people were the first people to start seeing people really of different nations and different coloured skins, and you know, I'm being attacked by tractors, man. But and someone sawing a tree down. But so Liverpool had all these kind of influences and different cultures and different music coming in. London wasn't getting that. London wasn't that, or nowhere else in Britain. It was coming in via the seaports, and the records were coming in. The rock and roll music was coming in. They were hitting the ports. You know, like the Beatles had rock and roll coming across from America at that point, because it was Liverpool, the seaport of the world. You know, so the Beatles could have only happened there. You know, they were getting all the influences, and that kind of made them grow. But was there a question which I haven't answered there?
I'll jump to another question. I need to get some kind of a picture of the difference between you and Damon at that time.
That was the question. Yeah, the difference is background. Our backgrounds were totally different. He said he was working class, but you know, I didn't know many working class people who'd spent their youth in Turkey and then you know, dad with mummy and daddy, and then come back to England and live in, you know, Colchester or something, or Leytonstone or wherever he went. But you know, that's not a typical what I would call a working class background. You know, a working class background is like either your dad's working or he isn't, and scraping the money together to put food on the table. And I don't think his background was that at all. So I found it very unbelievable that he was from a working class background. But you know, what do I know? You know, in London it might be different. Working class might mean you lived in Turkey as a youth and, you know, travelled around the world, and your father was a principal of St Martin's Art School. I don't know. I wouldn't call that working class personally, but you know, but he seemed to say that. And, so the difference was our backgrounds. You know, I'd had it tough, and he knew that. You know, he did know that, and you know, he had a lot of empathy for people who were not as privileged as he was. You know, he'd always been like that.